Hello Goodman, what happened to the soul of Alabama football? Before Saturday's 17-3 loss to Alabama, an argument could have been made that South Florida was the worst team in the country. It's not a low blow or anything. There was compelling evidence. A review of Sacrificial Bulls, the last time South Florida beat an FBS opponent was 2 seasons ago. In 2022, the Bulls' only win of the season was against Howard. In 2021, South Florida went 2-11 with wins over Florida A&M and Temple. In 2020, South Florida was 1-8 with a win against the Citadel. South Florida opened this season with a 41-24 loss to Western Kentucky, then struggled last week in a win over Florida A&M. That's 5 wins in total since the pandemic and 3 of them against lower division teams. In ancient times, when the Greeks sacrificed oxen to the gods, South Florida's football program could have been described as a slaughter of the horrific. Alabama was tied with this team 3-3 at halftime. If you came here looking for answers to explain exactly what's wrong with Alabama football these days, then I have nothing for you. There is no way to explain this mess in rational words. Please, someone find the thief who stole Alabama's soul this offseason. Alabama is believed to have more blue-chip NFL prospects than any team in the country. This team's offense looks helpless and confused, like someone who took the bus to work and then forgot where they parked at the end of the day. I'm just going to go ahead and say out loud what everyone is thinking. This is starting to look like the beginning of the end of Nick Saban's time at Alabama. He will go out on his own terms. Surely, but for the first time since he returned to college, Saban's team looks like one of the groups of joyless pros he coached in Miami. It's as if college players were finally getting paid like professionals and Saban suddenly became the bumbling magician incapable of fooling kids. Ultimately, Saban's retirement will be the price college football pays to finally allow players to make money. Saban noted after that game that he was proud of the way his players competed. Oddly, that notion seems sort of daunting after the game I just watched. Maybe I'm too cynical. Let's hope that's the case. Certainly, something needs to change before next week's home game against Lane Kiffin's Ole Mississippi. We all know Kiffin has dreamed of knocking Saban off his throne ever since Saban fired Kiffin before the 2017 national championship game. Coincidentally, the 2017 title game was played at the same venue where Alabama battled South Florida. Here's a suggestion for Alabama planners. Do everything you can to avoid this place in the future. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's a fun stadium with a pirate ship. For the Crimson Tide, Raymond James Stadium looks like a cursed pirate's treasure. There will be questions about Alabama's quarterback position heading into the game against Ole Mississippi. From what we've seen, Jalen Milroe is clearly the best option for the conference matchup. At least Milroe moved the ball in the loss to Texas. Alabama's offense against South Florida was non-existent and quarterbacks Tyler Buchner and Ty Simpson felt like they were one shot away from serious injury. Why is Alabama's offensive line performing so poorly? It's inexplicable. How bad was Alabama's offense against South Florida? Buchner and Simpson combined to throw for 107 yards. Keep in mind that South Florida's defense allowed Florida A&M quarterback Jeremy Musa to throw for 374 yards last week. Saban's decision to replace Milroe with Buchner made perfect sense. Now it was time to see the other quarterbacks in action. Either Buchner was the answer or he wasn't. Saban pulled the parachute cord pretty quickly. Next up was former third-string quarterback Simpson. Why was Simpson the second choice this week? Saban said at halftime that Ty was the best practicing guy as a backup quarterback. This comment suggests that Milroe held on to practice after his inconsistent performance against Texas. If so, add this worrying problem to the growing pile of and everything else. He is not a contender for the title of national champion. At least that much is clear 3 weeks into the season. Alabama was supposed to be angry about what happened in 2022, but I don't even know if this team is good enough to make a bowl game. Saban's team began the season ranked number 4 in the AP poll. It was all based on reputation. The Tide then fell to number 10 after the loss to Texas. He should fall out of the top 25 after the game against South Florida. It was a victory in name only. He showed up to sacrifice a bull and instead caught a horn in the heart. Thank you for watching this video and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.